go. And I guess just let me do a quick welcome to this week's edition of Get Hired through the Fayetteville Public Library. It's a series that we have put in place the last couple of months and hope to keep going to help people who are either entering or re-entering the job force. So this week we are going to be talking about Lynda.com. And so this is going to be all Lynda.com, and I'm going to go over just kind of demonstrate that service and how you get there and what it is and what it's good for. So first of all, what is Lynda.com anyways? It is a self-paced online learning platform with videos and courses on a wide variety of topics that are taught by industry experts in that particular field. The topics generally focus on business, creative, and technical field, but you can learn technical skills, soft skills, how to use digital and software tools. There's really a little something there for everyone. There are over 10,000 classes that are offered through Lynda.com, with more being added. And there's also a free app that's available to download to either Apple or Android devices. And at the end of the program, I'm going to put up the instructions on how you can do that, because that could really come handy. I guess next, who should be using Lynda.com? Why would I want to use this anyways? Pretty much anyone interested in personal or professional development opportunities. And these courses give you the opportunity to discover, learn, and practice new things. There you get certificates of completion at the end of your courses, and those can become a part of a professional portfolio that you keep for yourself. And taking these classes shows a willingness to learn and try new things, and that in of itself is a quality, a highly valuable quality that employers want in their workforce. So how do I use Lynda.com? How do I get to it? It is available to you for free through the Fayetteville Public Library's homepage through our website, as long as you have a library card. And this is where I'm going to try to share my screen, and we'll start walking through some of this. So bear with me while I try to figure this part out myself. Screen, share, there it is, it's working. All right, so here I am at faylive.org, and that is the Fayetteville Public Library's homepage. To get to Lynda.com, you want to go over to this Research and Learn heading and click on that. And what that does is bring up this whole list of awesome resources that the library has for you. And you can see that they're grouped together by different topics. So we're going to go all the way down here to online classes, and that's where you'll see Lynda.com, and you just click on that. One of the things I like about Lynda.com too is it's pretty straightforward. All you're going to need to put in here is your library card number and then your PIN. So here's what it looks like when I first get logged in. I have, these sort of popular learning paths and this list of courses right here. But what I want to point out from the beginning is this right here, this word library. And I'm just hovering over it. I didn't click on it. I'm just hovering my mouse over that. And as soon as I do that, you see all these different topics come up. And as I stop on one of those topics and scroll over to the right, here's the topics related to business in this case, different topics under the category of business, different business-related software, and business-related learning paths. And that happens for each of these categories over here as I scroll down there. And these are just general categories. As you go over, like under the topics, software, and learning path, there's more. So these are kind of just out front here for you, but there's more that you can even look at from there. or you can just click on that word library. To me, it's a very comprehensive, kind of an overwhelming, long list of things, and it's there for you to use, but kind of, I don't know, to me, it's helpful, I guess, but I'd rather for something or maybe browse for something that's just kind of a lot of words that may not mean a whole lot to me just from the get-go. So I'm going to go back to the main page. And also just under these initial courses that they have here, you'll see new, popular, recommended, and then popular at your organization. The organization in this case is the library. So you can see what classes are most popular that people are taking, you know, in your community. And then under the new, you'll see these subdivided categories underneath there. And you'll see that, you know, it's kind of just different categories again that you can click on that and go straight to finding courses on that particular topic. So mainly though, or at least for my own experience, when I come to Lynda.com, I'm looking for something specific. So instead of following that sort of browsing breadcrumb trail to find something, I go up here to this search window right at the top of the screen, and I'm going to look for something specific. And today I'm going to do a search just for Google. Google has a lot of different things going on, as you may already know. And if I just search for that, we'll get a good idea of what our results list is going to look like. And, you know, I got 7,000 things. Well, that's a little bit much, but all different kinds of topics come up here, analytics, Google Forms, advanced Google Ads, Google Sites, and it just goes on and on. But what I want to show you is over here along the left-hand side, this is where you can start really zeroing in on the kind of class that you want to take. For me, I'm typically looking for something in the beginner level. So if you click on that, that's going to cut some of those numbers down, cut it down quite a bit actually. So I'm looking for beginner classes on Google topics. And then again, over here on the left, you can see all these different narrowing options, you know, developer, business, marketing, etc. Here you've got your different software options, different companies, and then if you have a particular teacher or author that you like, you can click on that too. And so you've got your browsing option and you've got your specific search options. And you can see that, here's some, less than 10 minutes, less than 30 minutes, less than an hour. And as you look down the middle here, you'll get a little bit of information about the class just from looking at the results list. Like this top one's 2 hours long, but the next one down is 39 minutes. So, and it says here that it's a course. And then I'd already mentioned learning paths when we were looking at that main library screen. And now would be a good time to talk about the difference between what's a course and what's a learning path. And a course is just like it sounds. It's one course, one class that's taken on one topic, and and that's it. And that's fine. I take a lot of courses on here. But a learning path is something that is specially curated. It's a series of classes that's designed to give a more in-depth learning on a particular subject. It's one of the great features of Lynda.com actually, because it creates a more structured approach to learning for you. And instead of you picking out courses at random, the learning path combines a set of related courses together that complement and build on each other. So taking some of the guesswork out, and we're going to look at a couple of learning paths later on in the course or in our session today. So let's just take a look here. I'm just going to click on this first. I don't know anything about Google Analytics. Maybe I need to take some essential training. I don't know. I'm just going to click on that right there. So we can get a little more information about this particular class and kind of see the layout that you will see on your screen when you are trying to find out more about a class or you're trying to decide if you want to take it. So right here in the center at the bottom, you've got your overview. And this is really good info. This is where you'll see, here's my beginner level. And again, the duration of the class, you could see how many times this class has been viewed and taken. And expand that down, you could see all these different topics that the teacher says that they are going to cover in the class, and here's our instructor right here. And another thing that I want to point out that I think is really important, especially in these technology fields, because things can change pretty quickly, is you can see here that the class was released in September of 2018, but it's been updated just last month. So that gives me some good confidence that this is a more recent, this class has been reviewed and the teacher has gone in and made some updates and edits to anything that's going on in Google Analytics world. So just keep that in mind. You've got the date options there. And I'm going to keep going along the top here, this middle section. The transcript is exactly what you would think it is. It is it's words that the teacher is speaking as they go along through the video. And as the teacher is speaking, it highlights the words within the transcript, and anywhere within this transcript, you can click and it will take you directly to that section. So if you're one that likes to read along and maybe you missed something, you can just zip back a couple of sentences and the video will repeat that information for you. The view offline option is also great because you may not always have internet access. And what you can do is, while you do have Wi-Fi or internet access, you can go ahead and download the course and everything that you'll need for the class. But then maybe later, if you go home or wherever you are, you don't have internet access, you still have access to your course and you can still go through that. So keep that in mind. You have to have internet access to download the information, but you can watch the course later if you don't have an internet connection. So over here, go back to the overview. Over here along the left-hand side is some course information, and this is just essentially a table of contents about what is going to be covered within this course. And you can see that it's broken down. This introduction here is 1 minute and 5 seconds. It's very exact. Key concepts are covered, and then it starts with these different, section 1, section 2, and then within that are these different video chapters, is kind of how I look at it. And you can click anywhere on these video chapters and will take you directly to that section in the video. If you're going back, maybe you don't complete the class all in one sitting. I mean, this one is 2 hours. That certainly wouldn't be out of the question. And you want to come back and maybe review something, you can just click on these and you'll be taken directly to that. And then you can go back and move ahead to the point where you left off. Another thing over here in the table of contents section is this little bookmark icon, and you can bookmark that just like you would maybe on an e-reader or on your web browser or something like that, and it's going to kind of save that chapter for you. So again, if you want to come back later in your account settings, you can go directly to something that you want to review or see again. And also up here is your table of contents, and a tab next to that is the notebook tab. It's very simple. It's just a little white box, and note-taking can really be a powerful learning tool. I know it is for me personally. The act of writing something down, or in this case, typing something, can really help you remember it better. And what you can do is type your note in here, type your notes here, and you hit the enter button and it just saves it for you. Now I'm not in the middle of this class, so it's right at the very beginning, but you can see that here's my note. I can click on this note, will take me directly to that video portion where I made the note. And if I go through this 2 hour and 36-minute class, I may have a lot of notes here. And you have this option to export your notes either as a PDF or as a Microsoft Word document. Just you would click on this arrow, this export button, and select what kind of document that you prefer. So that's another kind of little added bonus, I think, that they offer. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that not very helpful note, but just for demonstration purposes. And so say you've taken a look at the table of contents, you've looked at some of the topics that are going to be covered, and you think, yes, this is a class that I want to take, but maybe I'm not ready to start it right this second. You can add it here to this playlist, this little plus button here, and you, under your accounts heading, which is up here on the top, and we're going to look at that shortly, you're going to add this class to a playlist and go back to it later. And that's a pretty handy tool if you're just kind of looking around and browsing around for something. You may run across something else you hadn't thought of, and you thought, oh, that might be interesting, and you can save it to your playlist and go back and look at it later. You can always take it off your playlist if you don't want to take that class, but it's another nice feature that they offer. So when you are ready to take your class, you'll be right here at the beginning, and you'll just click on this video to start the class. So I'm going to go ahead and start this, and just so we can get the video player, and I'll just put him on pause. But I wanted to show you the video player here, and these are the tools that you can navigate while you are watching your class. So like many other video players, you've got start and stop and your play button here. You've got a go back 10 seconds. So if you're like, what did they say? You can just go back 10 seconds and listen to that part again. These are the skip forward. You can go to the next video, or if you're looking at one video, you go back to the other. You just skips through these different video chapters. And then here's your volume slider, and of course the time that is being counted down as the video is playing. This is your playback speed, and I have closed captions, just where you could add them or take them away. And the settings menu, what's under there is video quality and autoplay, and they work very well on my computer, so I'm not going to make any changes. So I just leave those at the default settings, but you may have to make some adjustments depending on what computer or device that you're using. You'll have to make it work for you. And then here's the full screen option. Again, another very common option for video play. One thing that I really wanted to point out here is that I think is a particularly helpful feature is the playback speed. The default is 1 time that you can see here. That's just regular speed. And you may find that a speaker is talking too fast or too slowly for you. And even though you can start and stop the video anytime that you want, you know, for taking notes or accommodate any kind of interruptions that you might have, being able to adjust the playback speed may still be of some help. If you're listening only, maybe you're not taking notes, you're just listening, maybe skimming through a topic as a refresher, or you just prefer someone who speaks a little faster, you can speed up the playback speed a little bit and just try that out. If you are taking more in-depth notes, if you're reading the captions like I usually do, or the transcript during the course, if you're reading and you prefer a slower speaker, you may want to slow that playback speed down to the 0.75. And I've done that many times, and it doesn't make the teacher, you know, sound funny. You know, you can make that adjustment and maybe make the audio sound weird, but I've had really good luck with that, and it sounds great. So it's just a great feature to be aware of, because to be able to adjust that playback speed, you know, you're basing it on your preference or learning style. So just be aware that that's available for you. Now, this particular class, I'm just going to say there may be one that we look at in the demo, but sometimes down here with the overview and view offline, there'll be something called exercise files. Not every class has them, you know, this one certainly doesn't, but sometimes a teacher will include exercise files for you to use throughout the class, and it may be something that, you know, like templates or pre-populated documents that they want you to practice with and move things around. So if you see that, those are just documents that are there for you, files there for you to use during the class, or, you know, if it's a template that you might use later, you can certainly use it later, but they're there for you to download and have access to during the class, so you can actually be practicing along throughout the course. So I'm going to take a quick sip of water here, excuse me. So what I'm going to show you next is up here under the account button. It says, hi, Renee. So this first option here, and some of this is pretty self-explanatory just looking at it, but you've got my profile, and that is going to have, very slowly, there it goes. It just has my name, and you can fill in, you know, more details here. I just have my name in there right now, but you can add as much as you want to your profile information there. But I wanted to show you the My Interest section. And this is where you can go in and put little check boxes by things that are specifically, you know, things that you might be looking for. And this is one way that it's going to populate your recommended for you list. And when new classes come out, those are going to pop up in that recommended section for you if they are on user experience, in my case, user experience, business skills, computer skills, and things like that. So if you sign up and start using Lynda.com, I encourage you to go under your profile and put some check boxes by things that you're interested in. That will help you kind of zero in and be alerted to things when they're available. And this news and email, again, that's, you know, if you want to sign up and subscribe to newsletters or things from Lynda.com, you can do that. And if you do that and go, oh my goodness, what have I done? And you want to change it, you can go back and unsubscribe to anything that you've signed up for. So next on there are the playlists that I mentioned. And I've got several classes that I've added. Again, it's kind of loading a little slowly. There you go. But you can see the class, and when you mouse over the title, you can get a little info about the teacher, and right here, the updated and the beginner level. And you can see here I haven't started any of these, and you can see the length of the course. And like I said, you can always take them off if you're like, ooh, I don't want to do that at all. You could just take it off of your playlist. You don't have to take this class, so you haven't committed to doing that. It's just kind of a way to store something that you've run across, you know, happenstance, and go, oh, you know, that looks interesting. I'm going to look into it a little further. So that is a playlist. And then history, again, very self-explanatory. If I click on that, you can see here I started this class, the Google Analytics Essential Training that we were looking at earlier. And I don't have a certificate to share here because I haven't completed the class. But you can see these other classes here that I have taken. And again, you can remove those from your history if you don't want to keep track of them. And here's your recommended classes that are slowly loading up there. And again, those are based on the interests that I had checked under my profile. And also, that list is populated based on classes that I've taken in the past too. So there's two ways that things can get suggested for you or put on your recommended courses, is by checking your interests in your profile, and also from, you know, they will pull things based on the classes that you've taken in the past. Certificates, yay! So here is a history. Again, just a smaller history of the courses that I have completed. And here's where you can view and print your certificate of completion for these classes. And again, it might be something that if you are either already working or applying for different kinds of jobs, if you take different kinds of classes, you can print those certificates out and keep them in a folder, you know, grouped by different topics, and then you have them available if you're, you know, going out on interviews or, you people in person. I don't know, a lot of that's going on right now, but anyways, you have access to those here. And this share button, I'm going to click on that. You have this option too. You can post this directly. If you have a LinkedIn profile, you can, excuse me, you can post this directly to your LinkedIn profile. It's just kind of a way to show activity and things that you're learning and things that you've been doing. So that's the certificates and bookmarks. I alluded to that earlier. And that's if you are taking a class and it has a little bookmark in a table of contents part of your course. You can bookmark a video and then use these tools to go directly back to that particular class and rewatch that video. And maybe something that you want one of your coworkers to see. Hey, I saw this section, it was really interesting. It pertains to something that I think we're working on. It's 3 or 4 minute video, and you can just jump right to it without having to sort through anything else. So again, just another nice little navigational feature. So that is everything there under the Accounts tab. Oh, and then very important, of course, that's where your log out button is. So we have looked at some of the basics now of Lynda.com. How do I log in? How do I find courses? How do I learn more about a course? How do I use a video player and the different features? How do I take notes and do some navigation around Lynda.com? How do we use our account to view certificates and to tailor interest and do some customizing for ourselves? So what I'd like to do now, since this program, the series that we're working on here is about job hunting and professional development, let's take a look at a learning path that has a job search focus. So very simply up here in my search window, I'm just going to do job search, see what comes up. 5,934 results. So that's really a lot, but what I want to show you over here on the left-hand side again is a learning path. I'm going to just click on learning path. And there are 2 learning paths related to job searching. I'm going to click on this first one. The learning path is called Become a Successful Job Hunter. I'm just going to click on that. We'll get a little more details about that. So, become a successful job hunter, plan your career path, discover and identify job opportunities, and learn the most effective interview techniques. All of those are great. Sign me up. Well, I want to take this. So you can scroll down here and see that there's 12 hours of expert created video tutorials, and you can see all of the different classes listed here, and they go in a great order. Here you have something for new college graduates, creating a career plan, turning an internship into a job. A lot of people will either volunteer or do an internship before they decide that they want to apply for a job at a particular company or business. Writing a resume, very important. So as you can go down, learning LinkedIn, common interview questions, everyone needs to be aware of those. So if you scroll down here, you can see the different courses that they have put together for this particular learning path. And I'm going to go back and we'll take a look at the other one just as a comparison. Finding a job during challenging economic times. Well, I'd say that's kind of where we are right now. That seems pretty spot on. So, this might be worth taking a look at. And in this case, there's 11 hours of expert creative video tutorials, practice to reinforce what you've learned, certify your achievements, and advance your career. So again, we can scroll down here and see the different names of the courses that would be taking in this learning path. Recovering from a layoff, how to manage feeling overwhelmed. I mean, these are things that many people are feeling right now, just, in general. So finding a job, very, straightforward course name right there. career strategies to career strategist guide to getting a job, recession proof your career strategies. So, I mean, this is, you know, just really spot on. There's the writing a resume again, and video interview tips. So there's really a lot here to choose from. And some of these courses are kind of short and others are a little longer, like the writing a resume. You can see here, that's 2 hours and 39 minutes, but these here at the end are, you know, 24 minutes and 30 minutes and 23 minutes. So they do a really good job of kind of splitting the topics up and the different lengths of the videos. So yeah, in both of those was the resume writing and how to use LinkedIn. So, you know, the learning path just gives you a solid foundation and a structure to help you meet a particular goal. So I just think it's a great feature of Lynda.com that they do that for you. And again, kind of takes a guesswork out of it. It's like all of these things build on each other and complement each other and work together to help me, in this case, find a job during challenging economic times. So speaking of challenging times, I think now would be a good time just to mention that, as you probably already know, online learning, meetings, interviews have become the norm during the pandemic. I'm going to show you just in particular a few courses, a few things that you might want to get familiar with during this time. And one of the first things I'm going to show is a product called Blackboard. And a lot of schools, learning institutions, colleges use this product called Blackboard for their online courses. And what I like about this is they have the Blackboard Essential Training. So that's, you know, everyone, this is everything you need to know about Blackboard. Now, look at that, 6 hours. That's a commitment, you know, but it's still beginner level. And you can see how many people have taken this class. But they also break it down. Blackboard Essential Training for students, that's an option. So if you're, you know, enrolling in school and not going to be doing online or in-person classes, you know, you might be interested in learning more from the student perspective. And then just below that, there's the Essential Training for instructors, because your students are the only one that needs to know how to use this. It's, the teachers have to be able to use that too. There's also just underneath that, learning to teach online. You know, there's so many shifts and changes that everyone is facing in regards to school and work and everything right now. You know, learning to teach online is something that a lot of institutions are, their workers, their teachers, instructors are having to learn how to do. So Lynda has something here for them. And I'm sure that's not the only one. There's a whole section just on education and e-learning that I think anybody involved in a school setting could really benefit from. Excuse me. Also, Zoom. Well, before the pandemic, I'd never even heard of Zoom. I didn't know what it was. And now, I mean, here we're having this series of classes and other virtual programs through the library that we're using Zoom, and, you know, meetings and staff meetings and things like that. So kind of early on, I was like, wow, I better figure out, you know, what that's all about. And thankfully on Lynda.com, I took a beginner sort of how to use Zoom class. So I think that might be something you want to look at, especially if you start having online meetings, either with, you know, current coworkers or employers as you start going back to work, or if you're going to be involved in kind of interviews or meetings with other people. It very likely may be a Zoom meeting, and you can get a lot of details even in the basic beginner class for that. And there's also courses on WebEx, Microsoft Teams, Skype, you know, how to use all of those things. And any of those can be used for meetings or interviews. So you might find something on Lynda.com, or you can find something on Lynda.com to familiarize yourself with those products. So another thing I want to bring up is we've been talking a lot about technical stuff and computer related courses and things like that, but the skilled trades are not entirely left out. So I want to point that out in case you or someone you know is like, oh, you know, that's all computer techie stuff, that doesn't apply to me. That's not necessarily true. They've got things on here for resumes, interviews, specific, like construction apprenticeship foundations, skilled trades, resumes and portfolios, manufacturing careers, how to get ahead in the construction trade. So there's something there, I think, really for everyone. So I wanted to point that out in case either you or someone you know could benefit from taking one of these type of classes. And I think down here, yeah, soft skills, tech soft skills. That is a great segue for me to talk about hard skills and soft skills. Soft skills are extremely important. Hard skills are too. And what's the difference? First of all, hard skills of that would be, I can drive a forklift, or I can speak Spanish, or I can write computer code. Those are things that I'm competent in. Those are things I know how to do. But what a soft skill would be, those are habits, personal habits or personal traits that you have that you bring to work, that you use in your work and while you're working with others. Things like communication skills, time management skills, people skills, critical thinking, teamwork, all of those kind of things are considered soft skills. And they have classes on that. If you just search for soft skills, you'll find something that can benefit you in any situation. And those soft skills, I think, are equally important to your technical skills, and they're transferable to anywhere you go, any institution, any school, any class, any job, any career. Those are the things that you take with you wherever you go and apply to your work. As I mentioned before, employers are looking for people who are willing to learn and adjust to new ways of doing things. Use Lynda.com to help you develop your skills and demonstrate that you are that person that is willing to learn. So that's really all I have for today about Lynda.com. I just encourage you to take advantage of this excellent resource. I love Lynda.com, big fan. It's available to you, again, for free with your Fayetteville Public Library card. And if you would like to see other editions of our Get Hired series, they're available for viewing at the library's YouTube channel. And there's a variety of helpful topics on professionalism, cover letters, resumes, interviewing skills, other demonstrations, and all of those topics there is to assist you with your job search. So, excuse me, were there any questions in the chat, Leah? No?
Nope, we didn't get any questions.
Well, that's quite all right. What I'd like to do to end the class today is I would like to see if I can bring up this, let's see. Oh, there's my cat. He's so cute. Here we go. This is the how to use the Lynda.com mobile app. And it's just it's very simple. I did this myself as a practice because I hadn't been using the app before. But I walked through these steps, so I know they work. If I can do it, anyone can do it. So those 7 steps there, again, it's a free app, and you will need your library card number, your PIN, and when you're downloading the app, you'll need to have internet access. And then again, like we mentioned before, you'll need to have internet access either while you're taking the class or at least while you're downloading a course so you can watch offline later. So anyways, I wanted to just make sure that those instructions were available to the class and anyone that might be viewing the class at a later date. But as always, if you need any further assistance or help with Lynda.com or any of the other resources that we offer, please contact us at the Fayetteville Public Library. We are there to help, and we'd be happy to help you out with this or anything else. And with that, I'll just say thank you for joining us today.